Murray wants his players to get to that ball first. Not too happy with their desperation out of the centre. He said when you do get to the ball, make sure that you kick it long. Graham Corns again pushing to his players the fact that they've got to use the southern side of the MCG. Now the reason for that is there's no Richmond supporters over there, so he believes that's got to be some advantage to particularly his younger players. He believes this quarter is going to be very crucial, the third quarter. The boys can't afford to give Richmond an inch in this third term. It doesn't matter how they get to the ball, jump on it, pounce on it, just make sure that you get to the ball first.
Righto, Max. And players taking up their positions now for the first bounce of the second half. Dale Waitman back on the ground. That's good news for Richmond supporters. They're stretching out the hamstring. Third term from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Adelaide leading 4-8 to 4-6. After it was only 1 point the difference in the Tigers' favourite the first change. The two number threes, Waitman and Hart, tangle. And the ball pinned to the chest of Dale Waitman.
And Matthew Knights, Peter, is now picking up Jarman. Andrew Jarman, there you can see left of screen. Matthew Knights with the blonde hair.
As Jarman had a magnificent first half, 14 and 8, his stats. McDermott kicks to half forward. Now the umpire has ruled a push out, and it's going to be a 3-3.
And this rain has stopped too.
Just about.
It's 11 degrees.
Mark taken by Underwood. Still inside the centre square. Richmond did better when they were attacking this goal in the first quarter. Or Gale, he missed a mark. He hasn't done that too many times today. Nash on the bottom of the pack. Ball finally hoofed out towards the centre wing position with a quick kick. And we've got a foot race out here. Foog and Ryan.
Well done by young Ryan. He's not having as good a season as he did last year. He's an excellent winger last year. They've moved him around a little bit this year to try and get him into some type of form.
Cloak and Micken, good duel that one. Jarman, we almost put that down as a stat to him. Filkey, a quick kick back towards centre field, so no one making much progress at the moment. Now finally the Tigers go forward through Bannock. Smart leading in the race for the ball. He's got plenty of backup support out there. This is Lindner in defence at the moment. He kicked their first goal this afternoon, the Adelaide Crows. Almost the mark taken down there. The umpire says play on. Hocking gets there first for Adelaide. Has to double back quickly and does it effectively. Bad hand pass, almost intercepted by Powell. Hodges runs into trouble. The ball scooped back to Jarman. Jarman kicks it over his shoulder. It was touched off the boot. Ryan, he goes off the ground. Pretty scrappy play at the moment. Lindner again, tackled by Waitman. Two veterans out there. Knights off the ground this time. Although Don said the rain has just about stopped, still very slippery conditions out there. Lee gets front position. A fresh air shot picked up by Knights, and Knights drives Richmond into attack.
Knights kick up towards the 50-metre line. No one can control the football. Justin Pickering in the picture there, and we'll have a boundary throw-in.
Kicked a great goal in the second quarter.
Certainly was a magnificent kick. And Lambert having a bit of a dust-up there with Lee. Lambert trying to get onto McGuinness's back. Picked up by Pickering. He's caught the football, should be penalised. And he will, the free kick to Filkey.
Grant Filkey, he's done well today. Mark taken by Lee, right on the boundary line. Cloak, got two hands to it. Marshall at the back with a quick hand pass. Intercepting is Ryan. A quick left footer down towards half forward, and that's how to mark a ball in the wet. Very sticky fingers. Pickering, not a good kick. Picked up by Bickley. Bickley's kick again to centre wing. Cloak fisting the ball forward, opens it up for Trent Nichols. Nichols has kick up towards the 50-metre line. There is a whistle. Maynard and Gale, and it's going to be the latter to get the free kick.
A bit soft, I thought again. I thought that Maynard slipped. He's making a genuine attempt at the ball.
And Gale has the football about 50 metres out. He's not too confident. He goes in short. And Nichols takes a good mark in the finish.
Now he's going to kick the ball about the same distance out as what Gale.
Lambert rather has the football. Gale, the short pass. Lambert now 50 metres out. Kicks to the front of the goal square.
Honeybun.
Nearly a mark to Richmond. In goes Micken. Does well. Waitman. Left foot snap by Dale. Waitman is pretty good. And Waitman gets the 5th goal for Richmond.
Back into the centre. Chance for Lambert to go forward. Waitman, who kicked the last goal to put the Tigers back in front. After they trailed by 2 points. Nichols grabbed, but he was grabbed high. And that's how the umpire's going to see it.
Against Filthy.
Who stands the mark.
The lights have also come on here at the MCG.
Kick inside 50, and Abernathy takes an uncontested mark. Nates will have to come back, otherwise he'll be given 50. He does. And Justin Pickering stands the mark. Spiral punt kick into the middle of the ground. Cloak has it knocked away by McDermott. Lindner. He was able to get out of that pretty well because it's slippery here. Hart. That's a good mark taken by 3. Centre square though has been covered up, so probably not as bad as the rest of the ground. Filkey missed it. Or kick further forward. This is Lee. Well, it's going from one end of the ground to the other at the moment. Powell, who had a good first half for Richmond. A shorter kick. Oh, that's a fine mark for Gale. He's marked well overhead today. Gives it to Underwood, Campbell and Linder. Campbell slaps it further forward. Hughes will get it back to Linder if he can. At least that was what he was trying to do. And Hughes dives on it and closes it up. And the ball up will take place just near the 50-metre line.
Good kick by Underwood to try and spot Campbell. A little indirect though, just the same.
Jamison taps down. Now there's a free kick for holding the man, says the umpire. And it's going Richmond's way, and again it's going to be taken by Gale.
Gale's kicking towards full forward. No mark to Honeybun. Gathered by Lambert. Faked the hand pass. Then the kick was a shocker. Picked off by Bickley. Bickley for the Adelaide team. Hand pass to Andrew Jarman. Jarman's kick up towards half forward. No mark to Cloak. The ball at the back. Free. Goes after it. Michael Pickering takes his time. Kicks across his left shoulder. Gathered by Marshall. Handball McGuinness. McGuinness, one of his rare possessions. It's only his 3rd kick. Up towards centre half forward. Could have nearly been in the back against Turner. Ball goes wide. Chance for McDermott. McDermott's quick kick. Nearly a mark there to Hocking. Ryan in there, the 2 number 8s. The ball flipped out to the side. Tony Free gathers it nicely. 15th kick for that player. Out towards centre wing. Punched away from Lambert by Marshall. And they'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward favouring Adelaide. Micken. Cloak at the back. Tries to get to the front. Micken gets the tap out. Then gathers the awkward ball and kicks about 30 metres towards his goal. A fairly high kick. Knights. Now Lambert runs across centre half back. The kick is a little ordinary. Goes in towards the centre. Who can keep their footing? This man, very, very clever. Left foot kick by that player up towards half forward. Nearly the mark to Clune. Picked off by Ryan. Kick back towards the centre. Under pressure there is Bickley. So is Andrew Jarman from Knights. Good play by Richmond. Pressure enormous. Nichols goes to Underwood. Underwood's kick. Tigers a chance here. The ball may go to the back. No. Punch to the front. Smart. Nearly held but he didn't have it, but he goes after it again and kicks it back in towards the centre where the mark is taken there by Grant Filkey.
This is old-fashioned football. The players are really not looking for anyone down the ground. It's onto the boot as quickly as possible and they're hoping for the best.
Filkey's kick after the hand pass went astray, comes up to half forward. A quick kick out of the pack sees the ball very close to the boundary line. And in fact it's now over the boundary line, taken over by Free.
And the rain is starting to come down again.
Well, just looking through the glasses at the old Scotch ground in the background, Don, near the tennis centre, and that is a real mud heap.
You doesn't often see that. Well, you've never seen that before from here because of the stands.
This goes to show how much this ground's improved in the last couple of years. Waitman gives it over to Nichols, up the half forward. Naish almost, good attempt with the mark. Bickley off the ground. Marshall back up support. Campbell drags him off when he didn't have the ball. I'd agree, but the umpire says play on. Jarman does. What a game he's playing. Magnificent stuff. That's about as far as it's going, though, as the mark is taken by Pickering. He gives it over to Turner, who gallops towards the member stand side. Or Micken, great attempt to mark. Umpire says a free kick, he was held, and I agree.
Is that 15?
Oh, gee, that could have been 50 metres.
Depends on, I didn't see who threw the ball back. Maybe it was a teammate.
It could have been, I didn't see either. But anyway, Micken has the free kick. Goes for the Spiral or torpedo.
Oh, a mark, is it?
A mark? It might be... Is it Brown down there?
No, it's Jamison. Hodges got his hands on it first.
Oh, it wasn't.
So a ball up. Chance for an Adelaide goal, and they need one. But Richmond have stacked it here. Klug off the ground, but the wall was there. Lambert threw that one out. And Waitman takes advantage of it. Over to Campbell, around Marshall. Kicks up towards the centre wing position. Lee's the only one there for the Crows, but it beats him over the line as the rain tumbles down.
It was a good kick by Campbell, Peter, because there was no Richmond player to kick it to.
No,
he gathered about 40 metres and forced it to a winnable situation now for either side.
You see Liptak coming on, hocking off, and he runs straight into Tony Free and cops one for his trouble.
McDermott kicks the Crows up towards the 50-metre line. Jamison couldn't quite control it. McGuinness, and he can't do much with it. And I don't think Tony McGuinness would be pleased with his game so far. He's only had 3 kicks, and a man who usually gets the ball closer to 30 times a game. It's been a difficult afternoon for him. Lambert, tackled by McDermott. McDermott looking for the free kick. The umpire deciding on a ball up.
McGuinness's man is Lambert, number 4 there. I watched Lambert one night cut Greg Williams out up in Sydney and did an excellent job.
Ball still 50 metres from the Crows' goal. McDermott flips it over. Michael Pickering. Chris McDermott now 50 metres from the Adelaide goal. Chance there for Liptak. But again, and there's the frustration shown by the Adelaide captain, Chris McDermott, just throwing his hands on his hips there as if to say, gee whiz, this is difficult out here. And all players having problems with these slippery conditions. Darryl Hart, kick towards centre-half forward. Now it's in a winnable position.
Now that's a free kick.
Turner is held by Hodges, and he sums it up pretty well, Steve Turner, and plays on and kicks a lovely 45-metre drop punt. And the ball all of a sudden is in Richmond's scoring position. And the free kick is against the Richmond player, Gale, and it will go to Maynard for the Crows.
Maynard to Micken. And he gets it moving quickly. Out to Marshall, 3 M's. Very tidy player, Marshall, the veteran. And that's a good mark taken by Free.
He's played a great game. Tony Free across that half-back line for Richmond.
The right half-back flank. Tony Free. He's gone in really short out to Campbell, who nearly runs over the line. The boundary umpire gives him the thumbs up. Smart pushed the ball away from his opponent. Micken slaps it back, tries to find Smart. McDermott's there. He gives it back to Smart. Over to Abernathy. A high bomb by him. Would have almost been construed as interference. Ryan comes in late. The ball is out of bounds. And it'll be thrown in again, right on the 50-metre line. So goal still hard to score. Good stats for Ryan on a day like today. Cloak and Micken, as I said before, they've had a great duel. Probably almost Micken's way, but Cloak around the ground when he's playing a kick behind the player has done really well. Micken probably done best at the centre bounces. And the ball's coming back. It's going to be a free kick to be taken by Ryan, just up from the back pocket, close to half-back. Huge pack of players out there. And a fist finds the boundary line. We'll see a throw in on centre wing. 12.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Low scoring game.
I'm just thinking, players that come back 30 years ago and come back and watch this game today, they could not believe that there are players, so many players around the ball. It used to be positional play once upon a time. You had your position, you worked in that. Nowadays, you have your 2 forwards and then the rest of the guys seem to be up around midfield.
Bartlett and Green looking on as we see the throw in. Knocked down by Micken. And a chance for Lee, who picks the ball up and kicks quickly.
Half forward for Adelaide. Bannock, Jamison. Kick off the ground by Michael Pickering. Didn't go very far. Lambert. He's still wearing Tony McGuinness. And the Richmond fans screaming for a free kick. But umpire electing to throw it in the air at centre half forward for Adelaide. Hodges tries to get a bit of a run at it. McDermott dispossessed. Kick off the ground there by Turner. It's Scott Turner. I keep calling him Steve Turner. I don't know why.
There was a Steve Turner at Melbourne and St Kilda.
That's probably why. Get him mixed up. He's a good young player, young Scott. Now Adelaide under pressure on centre wing. Gatherers by Gale. Hand pass not bad. Pickering. Pressure by Filkey. Picked up by Jarman. Kick back towards half forward. Will it bounce through? Oh, Jamison pulled off the football. Powell, the Richmond player. And still some very, very heavy work being done in there. Lambert, dispossessed. McGuinness tries to flip it onto this team's advantage. Jamison, left foot kick to full forward. Klug beaten for it by Ryan. The race is on. Ryan stands his ground and kicks it away. Matthew Knight's in the centre. Can't control the football. Marshall worries him out of it. Klug hand pass wide Lee. Hand pass again Jarman. Back he goes to Lee. Lee now up towards centre half forward. Kicks the Crows to within scoring distance. Well, that could have been nearly a free kick to Adelaide. Hodges, kick off the ground there by Liptak, close to the boundary line. Another kick off the ground, and he scores a behind for his team. And good play in the finish by Matthew Liptak. One behind of the Adelaide Crows takes them to 4-9. Richmond 5-6. Tigers by 3 points as Turner kicks it into centre half back, and the mark is taken there by Wayne Campbell, 19 years of age, but that was a poor effort. He gave it away to Scott Hodges, and Hodges has the chance 50 metres from goal. And I would think Johnny may be too far out.
Yes, it is noticeable that he's getting further up the ground, Scott Hodges.
And it'll be a fantastic kick to score. Runs close to the man on the mark and hooks the kick in towards the edge of the 10-metre square. Chance for Campbell. Tries to get it to Lambert. Liptak doing the pressure work. Kick off the ground by Bannock. And it bounces just inside the boundary line. So we'll have a throw in about 40 metres around from the Adelaide goal. And Knights playing in the centre now on Andrew Jarman. At the back there is Scott Turner, and he gets the tap out. Marshall, 50 metres out. Quick kick. Centre half forward position. Good gather Jamison. Left foot kick by that player. He's not too bad, and there's a mark taken by Klug in the pocket. So Adelaide a chance now to kick their 5th goal through John Klug.
It's about an impossible angle though, isn't it?
It is going to be a hard one. If you can go back a little bit further and do what Brendan McCormick did last week, like he's going to do now.
Laconically walks around the man on his mark and kicks it behind.
Brendan McCormick kicked a goal against the Crows last week, doing exactly the same thing.
4-10, 5-6, Tigers by 2 points.
Well, they've had their opportunities in that second quarter, especially the Crows. Richmond's defence has been a little bit tighter in this term. Turner does kick in and the rain still tumbles down. Gets it almost to the centre circle, that kick. I think there's a bit of a wind advantage now. Nice. And the Crows will have it in the last quarter anyway. This man could make the difference.
Doing well, isn't he?
Yes. Gale, right at the centre circle. Kicks up the half forward. Here's a chance for a goal. Hogg! It's there! 42 now to 34. Under 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Hogg second and Richmond getting out to a pretty handy lead. Micken takes a hand pass. Campbell's there with Marshall. The ball slapped out to Wakeman. Gets it away from Hart with a clever kick. Maynard goes off the ground and it lands about a metre inside. That was a very close thing. They did not want out of bounds there on the floor. And the Tigers, one feels, Robbo, just starting to get on top.
I think if they get the next goal, it's going to be difficult for Adelaide. The Crows need to kick the next one to keep them in touch. From half back, ball goes back towards Cloak. Marshall coming into the game now. Left foot kick back in towards centre half forward. Hodges races for it and falls over. And how critical is it? Bannock keeps his footing and eventually gets a little toe poke to it. Gathers 25 metres. Filkey caught but gets the handball away. Lee quickly. I feel he spotted Lindner. Lindner's kick across the field. Centre half forward to the 50-metre line. Klug. Stephen Ryan, but Klug good body work. McGuinness can't gather it. It's underneath Stephen Ryan. In there is Jamison trying to kick it off the ground. Lambert. Now McDermott. Out to Marshall. Constructive play by the Adelaide skipper. In front of the goal square. Turner does a good shepherd for Knights. And Knights, gives it away. Free kick to Adelaide. And Matthew, I think you'd be very proud of that one.
Just going back to David Cloak, he should have he had the drop on John Klug. He should have just kept going.
Too gentlemanly, Don.
Very much so, Peter. Wouldn't have happened a few years ago, but then again, the football's changed and so has the individual.
Number 23 for Hawthorn would have
right.
would he, Pete?
And there would have been a lot of others too, let me tell you.
Wow. Andrew Jarman from 50 metres out. Not a bad kick by the number 2. Micken punched away by Cloak. The race on now. McGuinness, can he get the goal? No, the hand pass goes to Marshall. Marshall's left foot kick. Great kick by David Marshall's a brilliant goal. So Richmond lead by 2 points, 6-6 to 5-10. They go forward to centre half forward. Gale leaves it for Lambert. Lambert's hand pass. Justin Pickering. Defensive work by Abernathy. Not too bad. Little kick off the ground. Nichols falls over. And eventually, Grant Filkey, Justin Pickering, the boundary umpire will throw it in.
We mentioned Lambert on McGuinness. It was Lambert who got the ball out there, as well as playing off the ball, off McGuinness. He's also getting in after the ball.
Quick kick out of the pack, goes up towards the centre wing position. Chance for the Tigers now as it comes out to free. The hand pass coming from Turner, or Naish almost. Butters up well. As I said earlier in the commentary, does a lot of good work close to goal. Lee takes the fist away from full-back, straight down the ground. Marshall and/or Jarman, they combine well. Jarman's kick, beautifully delivered on a wet day, and the mark taken by Jamison. A chance for his second goal.
Well, Jamison's now playing at full forward with Klug beside him. Hodges seems to be up around centre half forward or half forward flank. And they're making a change, actually. The Crows are taking Tony McGuinness off and Eddie Hocking coming on. Compliment to Craig Lambert and also Andrew Underwood coming off and Turt Keys coming on.
Back with Jamison, who kicks, and he's kicked truly.
So now Adelaide lead by 4 points. We've got just under 4.5 minutes left. Hocking tries to burst his way clear. Handball comes from Hodges, tried to get it to Hocking. Now Richmond free. A kick to a vacant area out here on the wing on the members' side. Keys chipping in Filkey for Adelaide, and kicks it high, only goes about 25 metres, hard underneath it, gathered by Waitman. Richmond need to get a goal before three-quarter time. Up towards...
There he's being held.
Naish, beaten forward by Danny Hughes. Danny kicks it out on the full in the finish, and the free kick will go to Richmond, to be taken out here by Terry Keys. Too far out, 50 metres from goal. Kicks it in the direction, very good, over the back, and it just goes over through for one behind to the Tigers. So, good kick in the finish by Terry Keys. Adelaide lead 6-10, Richmond 6-7.
Was that rushed or was that a point to Keys?
I'll give it to the rushed man. He's a very good player, that rush guy. I suppose it's accumulated score for the whole year.
Kicks a lot of points, doesn't he?
Wouldn't be bad, would it? Maynard goes to McDermott. McDermott's played pretty well for his side. Captaining from the front. Mark is taken there for Adelaide by Liptak. Play on. And caught with the football. So the free kick will go to Campbell on centre wing.
Played a throw actually, Robbo, but it matters little. The free kick was going that way anyhow. Campbell's kick. Big pack of players. Open market. Umpire does call play on. Justin Pickering kicked a beautiful goal at the other end. And there's that rushed man on Redford. Rushed it soft in hands. I don't think it deviated much. It was just touched on the way through.
Well done by Danny Hughes.
6-10 to 6-8. Under 3 minutes left in this quarter. Hughes kicks in. Abernathy. Close to the boundary line. Onto Smart. Smart's kick to centre wing. Lindner was the target. And Lindner got high with that, coming down with the Vickies. Frustrating, Bruce, isn't it? Kicked a good goal earlier in the game. He's only got the one goal, Lindner. To throw it on centre wing. Cloak hits it straight back over the boundary line in front of Campbell and Waitman. So the boundary umpire will do it all again. 2.25 minutes left in the third term. So we've got time for perhaps one more goal to either side. Be very handy. Looks as though, as Don said, this game's going to go down to the wire. Chance for the Tigers now. Turner, what are you doing up there? Kicks to half forward. The Crows are going to get out of this. filthy on centre wing. That's as good as a kick. He's punched that about 35 to 40 metres. And Turner again. He'll have to be quick. He is. Over it comes to Nichols. Good mark, a gutsy mark at that, taken by Lambert. He's had the honour of McGuinness being taken from the field, and Knights takes the mark now. Is he going to be real casual about this, or go back and see if we can make something with it? In the square, good use of the body. I would have thought maybe Hughes could have got the free kick. Umpire says no against Honeyburn. And the end result is 1 point to make the difference. 1 point. 46 to 45, and we've got a minute and a quarter left as Hughes kicks in.
Danny Hughes elects to go to the centre-half back position short. The mark is taken by Bickley. He's caught, gets the handball away. Knights chips in front of Abernathy. Justin Pickering. Left pick Richmond everywhere here. Keys drops a sitter. I don't believe it. Smart will clear for Adelaide when Richmond really had a goal on the scoreboard. The kick is all right. It may rebound. Maynard, if they've got enough time, under a minute left. Maynard's defensive side of the wing. Kicks it towards half forward. Cloak gets back. Punched on by Hodges. Doing some unsung work as Scott Hodges at centre half forward. This man's playing pretty well. Tony Free. Chipping in as McDermott. Tries to steamroll his way through. In there is Liptak. And Scott Hodges looking for a free kick, but the umpire decides on a ball up just inside 50 metres for Adelaide. So with 20 seconds left and the clock ticking down, maybe not enough time for a score. Micken gets the tap out. Waitman tries to kick it off the ground. Held by Hocking. It could be penalised. No. Liptak goes out to Hart. Hart's got plenty of time to steady. He goes for goal. He kicks it to the front of the goals. Jamieson. No, there's the siren as Stephen Ryan collects the football. So at three-quarter time, the difference is the barest margin in favour of Adelaide. Crows lead 46 to 45.
Amazing game of football. Less than a kick in it at each change, and now it's Adelaide leading by 1 point. So which way is it going to go? 3 players have 2 goals, Hogg, Honeybun and Jamieson. And the other games being played today, 2 of them, Essendon and Collingwood out at VFL Park. And don't forget, there will be a replay of that game immediately following this clash. And the other clash, of course, this afternoon, Hawthorn and the Brisbane Bears. A big contingent of Adelaide supporters, Max Stevens, are they going to be happy?
Well, they're really cheering. Good to see. It's like being at Football Park, Pete. I reckon there's a couple of thousand Adelaide supporters. Now at three-quarter time, Graham Corns not very pleased, if you can believe it, with that last quarter. He believes Adelaide were a little lackadaisical and allowed Richmond to sort of just stay in touch. Kevin Bartlett, very vocal. Again, forget that little kick. Go long and we'll go home winners. The first to the ball will see victory when the final siren rings in about 25 minutes' time.
Yes, it's going to be another nail-biter, isn't it? And Bartlett already on the phone, even before the ball has been bounced to start the final quarter. However, the bounce won't be too far away. And
I notice for Richmond that Andy Goodwin is on the ground and Terry Keys has been taken off again. He's on the interchange bench at the start of this last quarter.
A thriller at the MCG, 1 point the difference. It's going to go right down to the wire. If there's any breeze, it will be favouring the end to which Adelaide is kicking in this final quarter. Rain has once again all but ceased here. The conditions very slippery as they have been right throughout the afternoon. Checking orders in readiness. So here we go, the final quarter at the MCG. Adelaide leading by 1 point. They led by 1 point at quarter time, and there was 2 points in it at half time the other way. Knocked away by Micken. Marshall.
That's Goodwin coming in.
Free kick.
Number 24 as he went through the centre, you can see he's pretty spirited.
Well, it's on behind play too between he and Jarman. So Marshall takes the first free kick of the final quarter. Not a good kick. Ball only travels about 35 metres. Lindner seemingly with time to spare as he gets onto his left foot. Kicks up towards full forward. A marking contest. None was played. Free. Have to get rid of it pretty quickly. Dragged down and the ball taken over the boundary line for a throw-in about 15 metres from the behind post.
The emergency umpire's been out on the ground too. I think he only just ran across to the players. No reports taken.
Let's hope not. Boundary throw in. Knocked back by Cloak. Klug. Linda, this time on the right foot. Won't quite make the distance with the kick, but it does play to play in front today, and Hodges has got... Hodges. Yes, Hodges.
That's shortening it, isn't it? Scotches.
Good mark, though. The point being that he was in front. And on days like today, that's where you have to be to get the footy.
Also an excellent hand pass from Klug to spot Lindner.
He'll get a score.
Oh, really?
That is a shocking kick from the senior player. He will be most unhappy with that, and you don't have to tell him. A golden opportunity missed by the Crows. 6-11 to 6-9. 2 points the difference. And by gee, Robbo, a goal there would have been real handy.
Yeah, they've been critical all day, haven't they? Only 12 kicked between the two teams. Richmond are going to get a chance here. Cloak at the back. Gee, moving in slow motion, David Cloak, but he eventually got the kick off the ground. He's still able to retain the football in the centre. So, Naish over the top. Marshall can't get through. Hogg's in the action. So is Smart. Here's Goodwin again. Oh, in he goes. Rough, hard, straight at the football. And whoever else gets in the road. Klug's handball. Not too bad. Bannock goes back. Gives away a few metres. But gets it close to the boundary line. And a chance now for Turner. He kicks it off the ground. It goes close. And it's over for a boundary throw-in.
Could have picked it up on that occasion, Turner. There was a 3-on-1 in favour of Richmond.
No talking, maybe. Boundary throw-in. Left half forward for Adelaide. Cloak gets the tap. Hocking gives his side about 5 or 10 metres. Bannock. Ball comes clear. Campbell leaves it for the captain. Waitman. His kick to centre wing. Ball goes through all those players. And right on the players' interchange area, it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Jeff Hogg and Smart a long way down from full forward. Brendan Gale back at centre half forward. Back in the goal square is David Honeybun as Micken and Cloak do the ruck work. Ball comes to the front. Marshall.
Holding.
Matthew Knights, good play. Productive football. Pick it up, have a look, then kick it to centre half forward. Gale at the back. Now Abernathy. What can he do? He leaves it for Hughes. Gale, kick off the ground by Hughes. Goes back to the centre. Knights. Oh, Gale's in trouble. So is Knights. The ball at centre half back. Justin Pickering. Sweeping hand pass. It can't go far enough. Maynard's left foot kick. Crows out of trouble. Micken marks between the centre and the half-back flank.
And there's a Richmond player hurt too at centre half forward. I think it's Gale.
Micken's kick up towards Goodwin. That's a real grubber, but the end result might be okay. Powell fumbles. Micken's in the road. Smothered by Campbell was well played. Hocking. Jarman. Micken away from Waitman. A real up and under job, that kick. Free did well, but hit it straight to Jarman, who nearly had his head taken off. Marshall, who's had an excellent second half so far. Centering kick by the veteran. And that was just what he wanted to, because the mark has been taken down there by Hart. Hart goes short. Chance for Hodges, who's kicking, let him down earlier in this quarter.
Sense of urgency coming into this game. Both teams really applying themselves. They've really slipped it into top gear.
Boundary throw in right next to the behind post.
Next goal will win the game.
And this is going to be a very handy one, Robbo, isn't it? This could be it here. Over the top, Hodges. Has he made amends? The umpire says it's a goal.
So the bounce back in the centre. Richmond really need to get this out. They can't. Crows go to half forward. Going back was Lindner, couldn't mark. Jamison, handball. Into an open goal goes Hocking, gets another one for Adelaide.
Hocking's first goal and 2 goals coming inside a minute to the Crows. 8-11 now to 6-9.
Well, they did that easily, didn't they? They really did struggle for the first one, but the way they got the ball out of the centre, Jamison across to Hocking, it was just a bit too easy, and that's not a good sign. It was all sides, or both sides, have really struggled for goals today, and that was the easiest of the day.
It's so important to get the ball out of the centre. Doesn't matter where you're playing football. 2 goals, 2 now the advantage. 14 points for Adelaide. In the early part of the last quarter, Cloak chipping in as Filkey. His kick is not too bad. Centre half forward, Gather Hocking. Handball to Hart. Hart's short pass is pretty good. And I reckon this bloke's played a fair game, Scott Hodges. He cops a reasonable bagging because he doesn't get a lot of goals, but he's done pretty well up there. He's kicked 2 goals too.
And that was set up by Eddie Hocking. He got it across to Hodges. Oh, no, got it across to Hart, just through sheer speed.
Hodges from only 30 metres out, and it looks pretty good. Scott Hodges has got his 3rd goal.
So Adelaide scooted away in the final quarter, 9-11, 65 to 6-9, 45.
And David Cloke's gone off the ground too for Richmond. The replacement, Terry Keys. So that'll release Honeybun. We can pick him up. He should go into the centre for the ruck down, and he is. And here's on replay a good lead by Hodges.
Adelaide wouldn't want to relax though. Back into the centre. Knocked down by Honeybun. Jarman tries to crash his way through. Blackman's on the bottom of the pack. Jarman looking for a holding the ball decision. Looks at the umpire, but gets a negative response. So 3 quick goals by the Crows have thrown the gauntlet right down to Richmond. They must come up with a reply. The rain has stopped, so conditions probably as good as they have been at any stage during the day. Can they make something of this? They can't. Ball kicked back by Bickley, it was.
They're playing behind Richmond, and the Crows are in front.
Kick into the goal square.
See,
that's
again, behind
Jamison. He's already kicked 2 goals. And this could really almost make the game safe.
When that hit down came from Honeybun, Naish was behind his opponent at centre-half forward, and all of the fellows on the Richmond side were behind. And again, that was amplified by Jamison's mark.
Jamison for his 3rd. He kicks and gets it.
At Foodland, we take a great deal of pride in our sponsorship of the Adelaide Crows, because we believe that one South Australian team deserves the support of another. Foodland, sponsoring the Adelaide Crows, a great match of 2 mighty South Aussies.
3 to Filkey and 3 to Hodges, the major goal kickers for the Crows now. Can Richmond come up with a reply? Goodwin kicks long to half forward. This might be the Tigers' chance. The ball socket off the ground. It stands on end. Still outside 50. Slapped further forward down there by Hogg. And the ball out of bounds right on the 50-metre line.
Isn't it amazing having a fellow who desperately wants the ball from the bounce down? I evidence that by Goodwin, who is the wingman. And he is getting in for every bounce down and actually getting the ball out. That's tremendous endeavour.
In front is Maynard. Slaps the ball out the back. Abernathy with a quick kick. Barely travels the required distance. In fact, the umpire said play on. No mark to Waitman. Kicked up towards full forward. Smart comes out in front. The ball flipped out the back of the pack. They can do something with this. Abernathy gets it and turned to Bickley. Over to Jarman and they get clear.
Jarman's kick now to a vacant wing position. And this is a good kick too by Andrew Jarman, close to the line. Klug will help it over, and the ball will be thrown in. Centre wing, out of side, and a very, very handy lead now to Adelaide.
Long way to go yet though, Robert.
Oh, I'd like to be on them. I'd have my house mortgaged very, very quickly, Pete.
This is Naish coming off now. Remember, Naish was behind when that bounce down came before, and maybe he's paying the penalty. Free
tries to kick Richmond into attack. It's touched off the boot, so we'll have another boundary throw in. Underwood, the Richmond player, coming onto the ground there to replace Chris Naish. Boundary throw in left half forward for the Tigers. We've got 16 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. Honeybun can't get through. Very, very difficult now. Free, up to full forward. What can Richmond do here? They may get a goal through Hogg. No, it's hurried over. And good defensive work by Danny Hughes. And a rush behind to the Richmond side. That's their 4th rush behind. And they badly need a succession of goals. Maynard takes the kick in, shares it away with Filkey. And Filkey's left foot kick is not too bad. Oh, Goodwin marks it. Went a little bit too fiercely at it. Now Adelaide a chance. Hart, left foot kick by that player up to the 50-metre line. Gathered by Lindner. A little bit too clever. Then gave the ball away. Nichols has it for Richmond. Kick to centre wing. Marcus taken by Filkey.
Right, well,
Filkey coming up for kick number 20. Playing on the wing. Nice kick to half forward Mark. But in doing so, Klug has given away a free kick to his opponent there, Stephen Ryan, who has played pretty well at centre-half back for the Tigers. 12 kicks and 5 hand passes. This kick slews off the side of his boot a little bit. Nearly a mark there to Goodwin, but
pushed by Nicken. He was pushed by Nicken.
And the free kick will go to the Vigorous. And that's probably putting it kindly. Andy Goodwin.
Goodwin kicks to the right half-forward flank. Now there's another whistle. This time the advantage is played. Waitman kicks the ball out in front of goal. Excellent play by the skipper. And if they're going to get a goal, they must get it here. Keys has taken the mark.
He did that well, Dale Waitman.
Did he what?
He really did sum the situation up well. Steadied and then spotted Keys and hit him with a really good pass.
Keys has spent a bit of time on the bench today, as those stats would verify.
Wouldn't you expect that to be done by a man who's played 241 games?
His partner from Mildura, or Sunraysia, Mark Lee, of course, retired earlier today after 233. Keys kicks at goal, and he might have missed that. I'll have to wait on the goal umpire. He has. So behind. Well, I put that down as a bad miss because Richmond really did need the goal. They trailed by 4, and they've got 14 and a half minutes in which to get them to tie the scores. Danny Hughes kicks in. He kicked in well today. That's no exception. Smart at the bottom of the pack. Grabbed by Waitman. Flipped out by Honeybunt. In fact, that's what the umpire said. Flipped out. A throw. Free kick Adelaide.
Scott Lee's by himself on the outer wing.
Maynard. Who you described once, I think, as unfashionable, Robbo, and he's been affected, though, again. Bickley. Klug and free. The Adelaide player outnumbered. Still gets the hand pass away. Jarman was the target. Tried to flip it back inboard. Couldn't do so. This is Anthony Bannock. And Bannock's kick into space on centre wing. It is out of bounds. And the throw-in will take place in front of that southern stand, which is going up very, very quickly. It will be ready next March.
Now, the reason I said that I'd mortgage my house is that Richmond managed 3 goals in the first quarter, 1 in the second quarter, and 2 in the third quarter. Now they've got to kick 5-1 to win the game, or even draw it. Without Adelaide getting a score, they've got to kick 4 goals, which is going to be a big ask for them. McGuinness around onto the left foot to centre-half forward Klug. He may even kick another Adelaide goal here, John Klug. Lovely kick, right on the line. I think it's through. It is. Adelaide by 5 goals. Man running around the circle there, Andrew Jarman, the architect of this victory by Adelaide. Now kicked by McDermott, goes to centre-half forward. The mark is taken by Pickering. That's Justin Pickering for the Tigers.
It's a beautiful goal in the second quarter. He won't score with this kick, of course. Out to the edge of the square, McDermott in front, couldn't take the mark. Knights overruns it. Ball scooped out the back of it now. But Lee, from a standing start, kicks to space on the half-back line for the Crows. Filkey will get there first. He's played an excellent game for his team this afternoon. 20 kicks and 4 hand passes. He really has been in the thick of things right throughout the afternoon.
Well, at least Richmond are keeping to form, aren't they? Since round 5, they win 1, they lose 1. And at the moment, they're on a loss after winning last week.
Lambert, well, not the greatest of hand passes. The Crows' tackling has been excellent. There is a whistle. It's going to be a free kick. Will be taken by McDermott, who has led by example. Campbell up and under. Was there a whistle? No, I don't think so. The umpire says play on. Pickering did. This is Abernathy. Oh, gee, that's a good kick. Spiral punt kick, covers some 50 to 55 metres. Big pack of players down there. Hodges scoops it out to Marshall. And Marshall off the ground. Sensible play. Jamison. Blocked. Pickering. Now boundary umpire says out of bounds.
Yes, that was a bit of a crude effort there by Jamison to try and kick the ball out of Justin Pickering's hand, and I think that's why the Richmond boys were going crook there.
Nothing for it. They need something. Hocking to Marshall to Filkey. He'll be coming in for his 21st kick. Right on the edge of the square. Kicks into the square. Hodges has to punch it clear. Klug in front. will try to keep the ball back in play. Hodges again snaps, but it's out of bounds and on the full, and it will be a free kick to Richmond to be taken down there by Turner. Well, Turner at the left back pocket as the clock ticks down. 11 and a quarter minutes left in the contest.
Goodwin nearly takes the mark. McGuinness over the top. Goodwin still the football underneath. McGuinness maybe infringing, so Goodwin will take the free kick for the Tigers. Looks to play on quickly. Richmond pretty desperate now. Centre wing. Jarman's a chance for his umpteenth possession. Gives it away to McGuinness. McGuinness hasn't had too many. Only 5 for the day. Kick towards full forward. Jamieson punched away by Michael Pickering. Back goes Bannock and kicks it over on the full. Linda putting pressure on. So the free kick will go to Adelaide to be taken by John Klug.
This will be a difficult kick, not because of the angle, but because of the ball, the weight of the ball.
Now this man did play football with Richmond, I think, didn't he, Don?
In the reserves.
Klug. Not a bad kick. 2 goals, 2 to John Klug. And Adelaide lead 11 goals, 12 to 6-11, and Turner will bring the ball back into the play for the Tigers.
Richmond yet to get a goal in the final quarter, which has been an excellent one for the Crows. McGuinness shepherded by Hodges away from Lambert.
What's his stat today? 5 kicks, 2 or 3 handballs.
Well, Craig Lambert's done a magnificent job on him. Put him right out of the game.
What's Lambert had?
Better.
He's only had 8 and 6.
Nicken scoops it out. Jarman. Filkey again. Close to one of their best. Kicks towards full forward, and Jamieson, as he watches interestedly on the ground. And there is a whistle. And it's going to be a free kick. Let's see who's going to take it. Temple's becoming a little bit frayed. Bannock decides to remonstrate down there with Bruce Lindner.
For a youngster, he's got a great build, hasn't he, Bannock? Second year of football, still a teenager. Built like a man.
And the Tigers need something quickly if they're to get back into this match. That burst by Adelaide has really flattened them. Kick up towards full forward. This is Goodwin. Very close to the boundary line. Might be out of bounds on the full in front of Marshall. In fact, it is. And so Marshall will take the free kick for the Crows to keep the pressure on the Tigers once more. Too far out to score with the kick. He's down from left centre wing. Marshall.
Goodwin seems to be now playing at centre half back on Klug.
Nicken pushed off the ball. Hodges and Waitman. Good bump by Waitman. Hodges is out of bounds, and so is the ball. And the throw-in will be about 25 metres around from goal.
And Stephen Ryan, the centre half back for Richmond, is now on the wing on Filkey.
Honeybun getting the front position. Slapped down by Nicken. Waite not on the bottom. And I think the obvious answer here would be a ball up from the umpire. And that's just what he's going to do. So time now ticking away. 8 and a quarter minutes left in this match, and 78-47. Crows on line for their first win in Melbourne after scores have been pretty close all day. Hart. Jamieson. Hocking, this could be a real seal. Yes, it was touched off the boot and rushed through for only one behind.
Who was that? Was that Free that smothered the ball?
So another
Tim
behind.
Powell.
11-13 to 6-11.
Great effort. That was Tim Powell that smothered that ball.
Kick in by Turner goes to Michael Pickering. Handball over the top to Bannock. Bannock slips but recovers. Gets his kick away out towards the wing. Good punch by Micken. Marshall back to Micken. And a slick pass. McDermott is marked. No, it's over the line, Chris. So you'll have to give it up. And the kick will be taken for Richmond by Campbell. Campbell's kick, centre wing. Micken. Oh, he nearly marked it. Jarman got another possession. Great game by Andrew Jarman. Scott Lee's left foot kick. Close to the boundary line. It's punched over by David Honeybun. And the Tigers just looking a little dispirited and little wonder. With just 7 minutes left, they trail by 32 points. Boundary throw in forward of the wing for Adelaide. Flip on there was from Lee. Over the boundary line there for Adelaide was Bickley. And the umpire will call for a boundary throw-in. Ruckman. Micken gets the tap out. Not bad either. Goodwin. Honeybun. Campbell. Kicked by that player as marked by McDermott. It was a good mark. The ball wasn't getting through there. Flat in the hands on the wet, slippery day. And Chris McDermott, you've done pretty well.
Good stats, Robbo, aren't they?
Leading from the front. He's a good player, McDermott. Punched away. Back it goes to Micken. This bloke's played pretty well too. And a little too severe there was Tony Free.
He's a hard little nut to be free.
He does a few...
Oh, he's all right. He's all right.
Well, he spends a lot of time not playing, so I don't know whether you reckon that's all right.
He's a tough nut.
Micken to McDermott. McDermott short pass goes back to Micken. And Adelaide just playing our time, I would think, sharing it around here. Micken has the football, left half forward for Adelaide. About 2.5 kicks from their goal. 14 kicks, 5 hand passes, 9 marks, and a good effort by the Adelaide Crows' #1 ruckman. That mark taken by Goodwin at half-back.
Done well since he's come on, Goodwin.
Good long kick. And Underwood and Abernathy, and it's Abernathy that wins out.
What a good effort by Underwood.
Now he has to play on. Well, good hip and shoulder by Jarman to enable him to get his kick, which is quite a long one, up towards full forward. Hodges overruns the ball, can't control it, and it beats him out of bounds. No love lost there. Underwood and Jarman.
Oh, he doesn't want to stand for it, Underwood. Go back and do something.
Thank you, Don. I'll give a Bible. Honeybun with Micken. Well, as you can see, no one getting anywhere. And so we'll see a ball up. Under 5 minutes now left in this match. And as Robbo said, the Crows would be content to just play possession football now to keep Richmond at bay. Now McGuinness, can he do something here? He's been well beaten by Lambert, but I think that's a goal. He's slotted that one, and that is the Seaver. Goodwin again, out of the centre for the Tigers, kicks towards left half forward. And one of the best on the ground, McDermott. Kicks to centre wing, Abernathy takes the mark. It's been a good effort by the Crows in this last quarter. We thought it was going to go right down to the wire, but they really did hit a purple patch only a few minutes into the term, and Richmond hasn't been able to answer. Lindner in front, Bannock behind with the fist, it's out of bounds.
Don, what is the key to a good tagger? I just watched Craig Lambert. He's always very close to Tony McGuinness.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't like the word tagger. I like the way it used to be. You had a man, you play man-to-man and beat him to the ball and go out and pick up possessions. Well, these days, these guys, all they do is go into a defensive game. We can see that Lambert's had 8 and 6. That's only 14 possessions. Normally, he's up around the 29 disposals a game. Now, McGuinness, he picks up a lot of possessions as well. He's only had, the 8 today, but normally he's averaging about 16 kicks.
Kicking towards the centre, mark is taken by Lindner. Adelaide now with plenty of positive thoughts in their head. Hodges, now free, will come clear of the full back line, approaching 50 metres, kicks it long, up towards half forward for Richmond. No mark taken. Justin Pickering slips over. Abernathy doesn't. Handballs to the captain. McDermott for Adelaide. A high kick back towards half forward. Marshall high over the top. Can't mark. Campbell in there for Richmond. Nichols well tackled there by Bickley. And in doing so, Mark Bickley has given away a free kick as Richmond make another change.
Nasha's on.
And Nichols has the free kick for the Tigers at half back. Kicks it towards centre wing. McDermott can't quite get hold of it. Lambert's underneath it. Tony free there, is it? And now McDermott gets another kick. Bannock, Peter, was it, that came off the ground? Marshall, dispossessed nicely by Campbell. Chipping in is Goodwin. I just feel as though he's added a little bit of effervescence, and maybe he could have come on the ground a little earlier, but the result now is in no doubt whatsoever. Matthew Knights and Abernathy getting a little tangled up, and Abernathy kicks out to McDermott. He's making his stats look very, very impressive now, Chris McDermott. 23 kicks and 8 handballs. Up towards the 50-metre line. Diving on it, Goodwin. He flips it out the back. Close to the line, it goes over. And if that wasn't deliberate, well, exactly. I think there's 2 other guys here that could agree with you.
Well, Dennis Cometti would have something to say about that. That's his favourite rule. So Honeybun and Micken. Indecisive ruck work. Jarman takes the hand pass.
That was a great handball, wasn't it?
Can't do anything with it. Chance for Klug. Ball just too slippery for him to handle. And it'll be a bounce. Clock ticking down, under 2 minutes left in this match now.
What's happened to that cake of soap, Pete?
Must be like that. Yeah, a lot heavier than a cake of soap, though, the wet ball, even though it was only came into use at three-quarter time. Hart flips it out the front for McGuinness. Ian Robertson suggesting it was a throw.
Oh, dear. Umpire not in a very good position then to see that one. Darryl Hart.
Well, that's the position you sometimes get a different perspective on free kicks from our position and also theirs. Honeybun. Micken. Over the top. It's all Richmond. Waitman. Pickering.
Oh, it'll be out for bounce. Oh, luckily.
Well, the Seagulls had to scatter on. Getting very dark here. Of course, the lights were turned on at half-time. And under 1 minute now left in this match. Going to be an historic victory for Adelaide. They're first on the MCG. Lambert. The hand passes over the top. Nichols kicks up towards the centre wing position. Won't quite get that far, actually. Paddled out the back. Off the ground, Danny Hughes. And that's out of bounds again. As Hughes trots back to his position. Done a great job, Craig Lambert. We were talking about his stats a few moments back. Boundary throw in, knocked down by Micken. Off the ground from Ryan. And/or Hocking, the 2 number 8s. Don't know who kicked it first. Goodwin might have given away a free kick to Abernathy, and in fact he has.
Just seconds left in the match. Bruce Abernathy, who kicks the ball well with either foot. The short pass, not bad. Lindner couldn't quite take the mark. Stephen Ryan has to football as the siren sounds. The game is all over, and Adelaide win the match by 38 points. Adelaide 12-13-85. Richmond 6-11-47. And in the last quarter, the Adelaide Crows kicked 6 goals, 3. And that really was the difference in the finish.
2 points Richmond added only in the final term. So only 3 goals between quarter time and siren time. And it really wasn't good enough in the end. Let's go down to Max Stevens.
Thanks, Peter. Well, Chris, the hoodoo finally broken here.
Yeah, it was pretty hard, Yakka. Wet conditions, and we had a good taste of it last week, which I think held us in pretty good stead for today. Workout last week was pretty tough, and certainly paid dividends today.
Those conditions obviously disastrous, but how hard were they to play in?
Oh, it's pretty hard. It's like night footy. The ball's on the ground, and you've got to put your body over the footy. You take the knocks, and you just do the percentage plays, and the boys are fantastic.
Mate, does this give you a bit of light at the end of the tunnel?
Oh, geez, there's a long way to go yet, and only half the season's gone, and we're still in it with a chance.
Okay, mate, thanks very much. Back to you, Peter.
Go on to Max, well done. Chris McDermott, and he certainly had a great game here this afternoon. Just looking at his stats, 23 kicks and 8 hand passes, Robbo, and they speak for themselves.
Yes, he did very, very well. Actually, they had a lot of good players. Marshall did well on the wing. Jarman was the architect, I thought, Andrew Jarman, and Mark Micken, I thought, played a terrific game for them. Even though Cloak got a lot of possessions early in the game, I thought Mark Micken played very, very well. Took 9 marks and had 22 possessions.
So the final score, repeating at 12-13-85. Adelaide defeating Richmond by 38 points, 6-11-47 at the MCG. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more in just a minute. And the quarter-by-quarter scores really tell the story, don't they, with the magnificent final term by Adelaide, in which they kicked 6 goals, 3 to only 2 behinds by Richmond. The goal kickers for Adelaide, 3 to Jamieson, 3 to Hodges, and 2 to Klug. And singles were kicked by Hocking, Lindner, and McGuinness. For Richmond, 2 to Honeybun and 2 to Hogg, and also singles to Justin Pickering, a great goal, and to Dale Waitman. And so Adelaide breaking their hoodoo, finally winning at Melbourne at the MCG. And I think all in all, they'd be pretty pleased with that, gentlemen. A good win, a great last quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great last quarter, and the game really can be summed up, I suppose, in the first couple of moments, because they really did get a break, the Crows.
At the start of the last quarter, most certainly. And I thought that they probably handled the ball a little bit better than Richmond, even all day long. You know, players like Andrew Jarman, who was an architect, I thought, in the centre.
Yeah, I thought he was very good, and it was interesting to note too that 2 of Richmond's moves, which I thought were good, was one was Goodwin coming in on the wing, and the other was getting Honeybun into the centre. Goodwin was running in, showing some enthusiasm. Honeybun was starting to get hit-outs, but the Richmond guys were behind, and Naish was taken off the ground simply because he was behind at centre-half forward. The ball was taken down, a series of Adelaide Crows in front, and they capitalised.
Coaching strategies, would you have perhaps thrown Goodwin into the field of play a little earlier? I know it's easy to say that.
I
well,
know.
you really have to toss it around, don't you, when you're struggling?
Yeah. No, well, I was wondering about that halfway through the quarter. Now, should he have come on earlier? But you've got to remember that all those guys were tired out there. You know, the ground was heavy, and it was a fairly physical game in as much as hard contesting work. So he comes off the bench. You can see he was like a raging bull wanting to get out there. So had he have started on the ground, he probably would have been just as tired as what the other guys were. Maybe at that stage, yes, it was a good move because it was only a point the difference, wasn't it?
I thought Richmond probably, Peter, didn't get enough from players like Matthew Knights, Nichols, Powell, Naish. Just a little inconsistent. And in wet conditions, you need those middle-sized players.
And that brings me to my question. Were they top-heavy on the forward line?
Well, they weren't initially, because if you remember, Honeybun was kicking goals early. They had to switch their players around. They had to get Hughes on the ground. Gale was doing particularly well. It was an interesting battle.
He went out of the game, didn't he?
Interesting battle between he and Maynard, but, he was doing all right too.
He took about 8 marks.
Cloak was doing well across half-back. So, you can toss it up, can't you?
All right, let's look at the statistics now. And from the top line, the kicks, Don, Adelaide well on top.
Well, they were, and as far as handballs are concerned, and quickly running through handballs. 20.
It's a slaughter, isn't it?
And it's out of the centre too, about 12-4 in favour of Adelaide. But they did control the ball in the last quarter, Adelaide.
All right, well there it is. Pardon me. The bottom line was a 38-point win to Adelaide, and I'm going to add now, gentlemen, because I have the microphone. I was the only one out here that did tip the Crows to win. By the way, I just thought I'd put that in for what it's worth. Well, let's evaluate the position of Adelaide now. It's their first season in the competition. They won in Melbourne today for the first time. I think they've done extremely well in the time that they have been in the AFL. Would you agree or not?
Listen, Adelaide have always had talent. The only trouble with Adelaide...
Answer the question, Don. Well, have they done well or not?
Oh, they've done well. But they've always had the talent over there, and a lot of guys question the way they have to go about their training in pre-season. Now they're starting to realise what it's about. There's some there still with immature bodies. They've really got to get stuck into the weights and apply themselves. They've got the talent. There's no doubt about it. It's just that they've got to apply themselves harder and bring their tempo up.
I've got no disagreements with that. I think they've been fairly satisfied.
Agree that with their win-loss ratio at the moment, they should be happy themselves?
Well, I thought after the first game, how far Adelaide?
The emotion over there carried them through that night, though. It was enormous.
That's exactly right, and I suppose that underlies the fact that they really did play on emotion that night, and the ability's not up to the emotion. But even to win over here as they did today, it's a real gutsy effort. They're a different team than what the Western Australians were when they came in. The Western Australians are a little bit airy-fairy. This mob really know how to play a bit of gritty-type football.
Well, would it be a good gauge, Peter? Because when Western Australia started, I got the feeling that they took more of the uncontracted players from Victoria to make up the nucleus of their team than maybe Adelaide have. What have they've got? Lindner, McGuinness, Micken. Can you name any others in the Adelaide team? I just thought the Eagles maybe have had a better...
Well, they only had Ross Glendenning. They had Miles, wasn't it?
Miles.
Malexos, yes, that's true.
So, all right, well, we'll leave that there, gentlemen, because it's one we could go on for hours, I think. But suffice to say, a good effort by Adelaide so far in the AFL, and certainly today winning their first match at the MCG. And welcome back to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And just before we go this afternoon, let's check on some of the individual player statistics. Players who really played tremendously well this afternoon, and I don't think anybody could go past Andrew Jarman.
Well, he had a quiet last quarter. I thought he was best on the ground. He averages 24 disposals. Let's see how he's gone today. He's gone up 35. That's not a bad effort.
Tony Free, who played on the half-back flank for Richmond, was a very good player for his side. 22 kicks and 1 hand pass.
And Chris McDermott, who's in the top 10 as far as handballs go, he averages about 12 handballs a game. He's a little bit down there, but he did pick up a lot of kicks, and still not a bad effort, is it? 31.
Good last quarter by Chris McDermott. Stephen Ryan, coming back from a back injury, did pretty well at centre-half back and then was moved to the wing in the last quarter.
Interesting battle Micken had with both Cloak and Honeybun, but 28 hit-outs. That's amazing.
Could nearly get a vote, couldn't he, Don?
Yeah.
And Wayne Campbell for Richmond did very well. A youngster, very promising.
Now, the match today, as I said, a 38-point win to the Adelaide Crows over Richmond. We hope you've enjoyed our telecast today. Let's go back now to Peter Overton in the studio.
Thanks very much, Peter. Good afternoon, everyone. Certainly a good afternoon, as Peter said, for the Adelaide Crows and their fans.